the boy walked into a forest, but unexpectedly, he was targeted by a malevolent spirit. The boy learned from his grandmother that the evil spirit was his grandmother's brother. However, the boy still couldn't relax. As a blood relative, why would the spirit do this? And why had he turned into an evil spirit? All of this dates back several decades, because he fell in love with an older girl. At this point, the evil spirit was still a young boy. He poisoned the food of the girl's fiancé. When his mother found out, she whipped him mercilessly. Seeing that the boy showed no remorse, she punished him by shaving his head. The boy still refused to repent. During the head-shaving ceremony, he watched the girl he loved having a wedding not far away. His eyes were filled with resentment and hatred. Late at night, he took his sister into the woods. His sister trusted him completely. Even though she was very scared, she still followed behind her brother. Upon reaching their destination, the brother faced a peculiar tree and began performing a strange ritual. The eerie atmosphere and his bizarre actions made the girl sense that something was wrong. Suddenly, she saw in the reflection, her brother appeared behind her with a knife. The girl hurriedly dodged. As she dodged, she questioned him why he would do such a thing. The brother surprisingly said he would sacrifice her with dark magic so that he could be with Muni. The sister struggled with all her might. As they chased each other, the boy tripped over a tree root. He accidentally crashed to his death under the tree. Before the boy breathed his last, he murmured that he wanted to marry Muni. After the funeral, the boy's mother discovered that the villagers were performing a strange ritual. Around that tree, they were holding a bizarre ceremony. An old man told her the head-shaving ceremony lasted 10 days, and the boy died during this time. If not handled properly, the boy would return as a vengeful spirit. Time flew by. The sister of that time now had a head full of white hair. She had become an old woman, and her grandson was the protagonist Bitu. Bitu's father had passed away early, and he grew up living with his grandmother and mother. The family's life was warm and peaceful, but beneath the surface, strange occurrences often took place. Fortunately, his friend Bella woke him up just in time. Bitu was very happy to see Bella, but he realized that when Bella was with her boyfriend, his smile held a hint of bitterness. On this day, the family took a car back to their hometown, which was the small village where the incident had occurred. The uncle's attitude toward them was cold. He seemed to have a lot of grievances. Bitu stepped out of the house. He went to the seaside to clear his mind. When he saw a patch of woods, Bitu experienced another hallucination. This time, he actually saw his deceased father. Back home, his grandmother and uncle were arguing around a tree. From their argument, Bitu unexpectedly learned the truth about his father's death. It turned out that back then, his father had insisted on ignoring others' warnings and was determined to burn down a cursed tree. His father slipped unexpectedly and drowned in the sea. Bitu couldn't accept this news, and he burst out of the door. Bitu ran all night to the woods where his father had died. Bitu discovered that the tree his uncle spoke of was actually the one that appeared in his hallucination. Moreover, he heard something calling his name. Bitu shone his flashlight towards the sound, and to his surprise, it was an evil spirit. Meanwhile, the family was in a panic over Bitu's disappearance. A passing villager said he saw Bitu walking towards the woods. After learning this, the grandmother pulled out the switch her mother had used to discipline her brother many years ago, and she immediately set out to find Bitu. Arriving at the woods, she saw the scene in front of her. She was utterly astonished. She saw her brother turned into an evil spirit, and Bitu entangled by the tree of the evil spirit. Facing her own descendant, the evil spirit showed no sympathy. Her grandson was about to be hanged. The grandmother raised the switch and struck the tree, just as her mother had whipped her brother back then. Unexpectedly, this move actually worked. The evil spirit winced and loosened its grip. Taking the opportunity, the grandmother helped Bitu escape, but the evil spirit did not give up. It pursued them in pain. It came up behind Bitu and marked him with a palm-shaped brand. The grandmother and grandson fled with all their might. Along the way, the grandmother told Bitu everything from that year. It turned out that his father, back then, had experienced hallucinations just like Bitu. He always saw visions. When his father went to look for that tree, the grandmother did not stop him, so she felt guilty about her father's death. This time, she wouldn't let Bitu fall into danger.
बिट्टू तुझे कुछ नहीं होने दूंगी।
Bitu embraced his grandmother. moved by her words. In the next moment, the evil spirit, tracking the brand on Bitu, came after them. It brutally killed the grandmother. Seeing this scene, Bitu fainted. When he woke up, he found himself in a hospital. Bitu hurriedly asked about his grandmother's condition. He was told that his grandmother had passed away. At the funeral, Bitu felt immense guilt. He believed that he was the cause of his grandmother's death. His uncle thought the same, and he berated Bitu harshly. The uncle accused him. If it weren't for your disappearance, Grandma wouldn't have died. His mother couldn't stand the uncle's fury, and she took Bitu away. On the bus ride home, Bitu sat there dejectedly. Suddenly, the ghostly handprint on his shoulder, a sharp pain shot through. At the same time, the woman in front of him seemed to have been touched. She turned around and accused Bitu of being a pervert. Bitu couldn't argue back, because behind the woman, there was indeed only him, the only man. Bitu felt helpless, and he could only move to the back row. Bitu discovered that the evil spirit had followed him, and the people in the carriage didn't notice its presence. Only Bitu could see it. The evil spirit kept repeating in Bitu's ear that it wanted to marry Muni. Clearly, it was still fixated on the goals it had never achieved in life. The evil spirit clung to Bitu. It kept shouting, telling Bitu to help find Muni. It crazily threatened Bitu, haunting and attacking him. In every corner of Bitu's home, it harassed and assaulted him, because the evil spirit had killed his grandmother. Bitu refused to help, but the evil spirit threatened him with his mother, leaving Bitu feeling helpless. He endured both physical and mental torment, and Bitu had no choice but to agree. During the day, he helped out at his mother's hair salon, and at night, he dragged his exhausted body to search for Muni. Meanwhile, he had to help the troublesome evil spirit resolve its issues. Soon, he began to feel mentally drained, and his complexion grew haggard. Seeing him in this state, his mother thought it was because of his grandmother's death that Bitu was too heartbroken. He fell into despair and started using illicit substances. So she called in Bitu's friends. His friends tried to advise him, telling him that no matter how sad he was, he couldn't fall into ruin. Their opinions were at odds. Bitu looked at his friend, and he directly revealed the truth. But his friend didn't believe him at all, that there were evil spirits in the world. However, when he heard a third person's voice, in the room with just the two of them, he had to believe that what Bitu said was true. His friend tried to help Bitu communicate with the evil spirit, but unexpectedly, the spirit was completely uninterested in anything other than Muni. To help Bitu, his friend also started searching for Muni. After discussing, the two of them thought that, to find the girl the evil spirit liked, they should return to the village from back then to search. So he called his sister, asking her to keep an eye out for someone named Muni. His sister was very efficient. That evening, she sent a photo to Bitu. The two of them looked closely, and discovered that Muni resembled a girl they knew. The girl's name was Bella, and Muni was actually Bella's grandmother. So they set off immediately, and arrived at Bella's house. Muni was now an elderly woman. She needed someone to feed her. Bitu realized that the evil spirit's excitement was unfulfilled. It didn't care about the aged Muni. Instead, it was interested in the young Bella. Bitu suppressed his inner unease. He had already helped the evil spirit find Muni. Bitu asked if there was anything else that needed to be done. The evil spirit said it still wanted to hold a wedding, but the bride was not Muni. Clearly, just a moment ago, its choice of bride had already changed. Bitu was filled with terror, because Bella was the girl he had a crush on. Bitu and his friend both believed that they could not agree to the evil spirit's demands, so they sought out a famous exorcist. They want to expel evil spirits, in a way that doesn't harm Bella. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, the exorcist restored a possessed woman back to normal. The audience reacted enthusiastically. Bitu watched this unfold, and thought the exorcist's performance was over the top. It was clear to him that this person was a fraud, but his friend believed in him, and wouldn't let go of Bitu. In the struggle, the ghostly handprint on Bitu's back revealed itself. Unexpectedly, the exorcist actually had skills. When he saw the handprint, he accurately called out the name of the evil spirit. In his explanation, Bitu learned about the origins of the evil spirit. During the head-shaving ceremony, the boy who died would become an evil spirit. Only blood relatives could see him, and the unfulfilled tasks of the spirit would become its obsessions. These tasks were generally related to marriage. In addition, the exorcist also told them how to kill the evil spirit. First, they needed to hold a wedding for the spirit, and prepare a goat for the ceremony, using the blood of the spirit's living relative, to draw a symbol on the goat's head that could exchange souls. Once the spirit possessed the goat, then they would kill the goat, and the evil spirit would cease to exist. With a solution in mind, the two of them began to figure out how to get Bella to the wedding site. The friend falsely claimed that they wanted to invite Bella to be their model for an advertisement shoot at Bitu's hometown. Bella happily agreed. While shooting at the seaside, he looked at Bella through the lens. Bitu began to imagine himself dancing with Bella as lovers in a romantic scene together. At that moment, he and Bella were close. Returning to reality, Bella was still out of reach, and Bitu had taken advantage of her. For this reason, he felt extremely guilty. Bitu found it hard to face Bella, but she sensed that something was wrong with him. She pulled Bitu down to sit and talk. As they closed the distance, Bella's boyfriend found her. He professed his love to Bella, and Bella was deeply touched. She followed her boyfriend away, and Bitu could only watch from behind. But Bitu could endure it. The evil spirit could not. The evil spirit dragged Bella's boyfriend away and crushed his lower body. Bitu's sister arrived at the hospital. Because of their blood relation, she also saw the evil spirit hiding in the shadows. She was threatened by it and had no choice but to join the wedding plan. The group poured liquor into coconuts and offered it to Bella to drink. Unaware of their intentions, Ahe soon fell into a drunken stupor. Bitu took Bella to the woods to participate in the wedding. Following the exorcist's instructions, Bitu found a black goat. He then cut his palm and drew a symbol on its head that could exchange souls. He successfully transferred the evil spirit's soul into the goat. Bitu aimed the knife at the black goat. At this moment, the evil spirit realized it had been tricked, but now, it was just a goat waiting to be slaughtered. The plan was about to succeed. Unexpectedly, Bella had a low tolerance for alcohol, and suddenly went on a drunken rampage. Bella pushed away Bitu, who was about to act, disrupting the ceremony unintentionally. The evil spirit possessed Bella, and Bella's soul transferred into the goat. The goat bleated in alarm and ran away. Bella, now possessed by the evil spirit, had a hideous expression. She chased after the group, but tripped and fell. Bella fainted from the fall, and the group took the opportunity to escape. They didn't forget to take the goat from the roadside. On the way, they encountered the uncle, who saw the goat in Bitu's arms, and thought they had stolen it. So he ignored their pleas, and snatched the goat away. Bitu could not resist, and could only go home to seek his mother's help. Unexpectedly, the evil spirit followed him home. Seeing the hideous evil spirit, everyone was frozen in fear. Bitu had no choice but to confess everything to his mother. He felt that he always led everyone into danger. He was a failure. After hearing this, she believed Bitu was a brave person. The mother and son embraced each other. The pursuing evil spirit shattered this warm scene. It launched a fierce attack on everyone. At a critical moment, the exorcist arrived on the scene. He used special salt to draw a circle around the evil spirit, and warned the evil spirit not to step out of the circle, or it would vanish. They temporarily contained the evil spirit, and the group set off again to find Bella. The sister stayed behind to guard, while Bitu searched along the way. He discovered that his uncle was eating goat meat. Bella had been eaten. He felt a wave of despair. On the other side, the evil spirit returned to Bella's form, crying while hugging its knees in sadness. The sister thought the evil spirit had left, and cautiously approached to comfort her. But the sister accidentally broke the circle, and the evil spirit escaped. Once free, the evil spirit rushed to Bitu's side, eager to kill him. The exorcist instructed Bitu to hold the spirit back. If the goat had been eaten by his uncle, Bella's soul should be within the uncle. He had a way to separate the two. The exorcist drew a symbol of soul exchange on the uncle's forehead. At this moment, a friend appeared holding a goat. He said, "This is Bella." It turned out that the uncle had eaten his own goat, but there was no time left. The symbol had already been drawn. On the uncle's forehead, two people, one goat, and one evil spirit, are once again exchanged. This time, the goat and Bella returned to normal, and the evil spirit took the opportunity to possess the uncle. Its power increased several times, and any attack against him was ineffective. Even when it was pushed into a well, the evil spirit could quickly jump out. Bitu couldn't withstand it, and he was knocked to the ground. As Bitu sank into despair, his grandmother appeared before him. She was as gentle as ever. Grandma encouraged Bitu to save the girl he loved, and to never bow to fear. After saying this, her figure faded into the air. Under the evil spirit's tree, Bella's life was in danger. The evil spirit held a knife to her neck, ready to kill her. Bitu appeared, fueled by the courage from his grandmother. Bitu rushed over to save Bella. He engaged in a fierce battle with the evil spirit. Even when he was knocked down, Bitu would get up again and again. Bella rushed to help, and Bitu seized the opportunity to grab the whip, striking it against the evil spirit. Bitu cursed the evil spirit. As the whip marks he left on the evil spirit formed the symbol for soul exchange, the evil spirit froze, and was swapped back to the evil spirit's tree. The uncle, now restored to normal, saw the cursed evil spirit tree. Ignoring his numerous wounds, he screamed and ran away. The evil spirit returned to its tree, and its plan was ruined. In a fit of rage, it commanded the vines to bind Bitu, swinging him back and forth. Meanwhile, Bella was not idle either. She poured gasoline onto the trunk of the evil spirit tree. Bitu understood her intentions, and threw the torch onto it. In the raging flames, the evil spirit burned away in the heat. With the crisis averted, everything returned to normal. Bitu found Bella. This time, he finally gathered the courage to confess to her. Unexpectedly, Bella had already decided to emigrate. Bitu and Bella parted after a hug, but they made a promise that their friendship would last forever. At the end of the story, Bitu walked down the street, when suddenly the shadow of the evil spirit tree flashed before him. The evil spirit had actually revived, and this time, Bitu gripped the whip tightly in his hand, and he would not back down again. As a horror film, it slightly lacks in the thrill department. The entire film relies solely on a poorly executed evil spirit effect to support the horror atmosphere. Therefore, for horror film enthusiasts, the sensory stimulation is insufficient. The plot is somewhat dull, but it compensates in other areas. The familial love, romantic love, and friendship among the characters are touching and even somewhat moving. The plot device of soul exchange is cleverly designed, making the viewing experience not too boring. Overall, this is a movie worth watching.